Hello, potential friends! You know what I realized the other day? I have been moved out of my hometown and officially living in Toronto for about 6 months now, and I still haven't told you guys the wild journey that leads to all of this existing. Like, you know, this wall, this bed, my lights, which broke, so I borrowed snowflake ones to keep the aesthetic. Yes, it's time to share the story of the renovation from hell. So rewind to the end of my 4th year of university, around April 2016. I was going home for the summer, but I wanted to move back to Toronto in the fall, and I needed a place to live in the fall. My friend Tara knew someone who had sort of like a bachelor pad house with an apartment upstairs that had 2 rooms, and a bathroom, and a kitchen, and she wouldn't be moving in until the fall either, so it sounded like the perfect situation. Except for the fact that the house was unlivable. I'm talking mysterious stains on the wall, cat pee soaked carpet that looked like 17 different kinds of bugs lived in it, holes for small critters, no door on my bedroom, and the smoke-smelling junk of previous tenants who just left their stuff behind. Like, we found these cans so old that I'm pretty sure opening them would constitute a biohazard. So you could say the house was something of a fixer-upper. But you know what? Me and Tara were more than up for the task. Here's what we were working with at the start. This was my room, and this was Tara's. You can see in this picture that the awful carpet extended into the hallway. I did end up keeping the IKEA bookcase in my room, but we had to move almost all of the furniture to the garbage or to the basement because the sofa and armchair were suffering from some sort of disease that I did not want to catch. Just brushing against them while maneuvering in the room made me feel like I was going to break out in the plague. Around graduation time, we had a big cleaning party with friends. We cleaned the kitchen walls and started working in Tara's room. Here I am, hacking away at the carpet with an X-Acto knife, and my shirt rolled up because it was really hot in there. Obviously, the carpet had to go, but we weren't exactly sure what was underneath it. Hardwood floor? Linoleum? The gates to hell? Frankly, all were equally likely. It turned out to be these ugly wooden tiles, so we got out the crowbars and hammers and we started prying those up. I swear I'm being helpful in this picture. Eventually, we finally got to the stained but sturdy hardwood that was hiding underneath. I had to head to my hometown after graduation, and I didn't manage to get up for the rest of the summer. So although Tara did some more renovation on her own, I didn't see any more action until September, when I came up for a week ahead of me moving in, so that I could frantically try and make my space livable. Tara's room was all done, but my room had only had the carpet and a little section of the tiles removed, so it looked like this when I came in on my first day of lonely reno. I dragged the furniture out of the way, cranked up the music, and went about prying up those tiles by myself. Something I haven't mentioned yet is that the ugly wooden tiles weren't actually the only thing that we found underneath the carpet. Oh no. In Tara's room, we found 2 different layers of wallpaper, and then underneath that was a layer of vintage newspaper from the 1950s. Like, this house is old for Toronto. In my room, though, I didn't get cool newspaper. Instead, I got 3 different layers of hideous linoleum, which turned out to be incredibly difficult to pry up. I am not strong. Okay, look at me. I'm not strong. I got it up purely through willpower. I was sweating up a storm. My eyes were sweating a lot. I developed a wheeze. To this day, I have it. And in this picture, you can actually see a glimpse of each individual hideous linoleum pattern. Like, why? Who thought this was a good idea? I guess all the previous owners had the same approach to renovation as I do to my traumatic memories from high school. Just cover it up, just slap something on top of it, and it's all fine. It's totally not there hiding underneath, waiting to come back and remind you of your sins. But apart from some minor injuries, my friend Taryn came over to help me one day, and she kind of sat on a nail. I swear she's fine. Getting up the floor went all right. And finally, I was able to get to the fun part. Painting! This is also when I remembered that I had a camera that was capable of recording things.
Say you wanna dance, don't you wanna dance? Don't you wanna dance? Say you wanna dance, don't you wanna dance?
room just on time because I needed to move in so I could start working. I rented a nail gun and I installed my own quarter round around the edges of the room. And there, everything was done, the weight was off my shoulders, and I could sleep safely at night, except, no, I still didn't have a door. I'm already living there, but we still need to finish the renovation. So for about 2 weeks, I had a portable door that was made out of a sheet draped over 2 poles that I kept in front of my doorway most of the time, and then when I had to shower, I would just take it with me to the bathroom. We'd had to remove the bathroom door in order to fix it, and also the entryway into the bathroom. So I was showering with my ass shielded only by a see-through shower curtain and a sheet. I learned to shower real quick. My room hadn't had a door in about 30 years. So these were the hinges that were left. Now this was the door jamb that was left over. Yeah, we weren't going to get anything on that. At first I planned to hire someone to install a door because it looked massively difficult, but that turned out to be really pricey and confusing, so we just bought a door from Habitat for Humanity, only $20 because there was a hole in it. Yay! And brought it to the house only to find out it wasn't going to fit. It fit all the measurements that we'd made, but unfortunately the door was shaped like a rectangle, as most doors are, while the doorway was shaped like a trapezoid. See, the whole house had kind of sunken in over time, and this made the doorway impossible to get a door into. The answer was obvious to me. We had to cut the door to be shaped also like a trapezoid. But at this point, Tara's dad and one of his friends were helping me put the door situation together. And they said, no, we'll just cut a bit off the bottom, and then I'm sure it'll fit. And I was like, no, it won't. We're gonna have to cut the top too. And they were like, nah. So they cut their bit off the bottom, bring it up, and surprise! It doesn't fit. So I draw an angled line at the top showing where they're supposed to cut. They go and cut it, bring it up. It fits perfectly! However, it fits with no room for error. So when we put the hinges on, suddenly it sticks out too far, and it won't shut, it gets stuck. And we'd had to pry off like the old hinges because they were gross and awful and put on new hinges. And I realized, I was like, oh guys, it's not closing because we need to cut into the door little divots to fit the hinge into so that it will close and like be flush with the wall when it closes. So we get the door off the hinges and we go in there with like a chisel and like a little saw and we're cutting out the things. After about 15 minutes they're like, yeah, that's good enough. Let's try it. Let's put it up on the hinges again. And I'm like, guys, it's not deep enough. It's not going to be flush. It's not going to work. And they're like, yeah, we'll try. It didn't work. So we take the door off the hinges again and I'm cutting again, and about 3 more times they got impatient with me still cutting it deeper. And we're like, let's try it. I'm sure it'll be fine. And every time, I was right in that it was not ready, and they were wrong. So the whole day was basically an exercise in Alexandra is better at renovation than 2 grown men. Forget Home Depot dads. I am now the patron saint of Home Depot, okay? Finally, after also having to chisel off the complete top of the door jamb, we get the door to close, although you kind of have to like kick it to scrape it in past the side of the door frame. And so our work was done for the day. I had a door. However, I didn't have a doorknob or a lock. Fast forward to the night before I head home for Thanksgiving. I don't want to leave my belongings in an unlocked room while I'm gone for several days. So I need to get this done tonight. I've already bought the doorknob, and I bought the lock, and I've got all the stuff. But everybody told me that I probably needed to take the door off the hinges and physically, like, use a planer to plane down the side of the door in order to get it to close comfortably so that we could get the lock in. But I didn't have any people to help me get the door off the hinges anymore, so I just got a big circle sander. And I sanded the hell out of the door frame because I knew I just needed to shave it down just a tiny bit. Everyone says, you need to plane it. And I'm like, no, I can do this with a sander. I can do this! So I sand it. I install the doorknob, and then I go to put the little metal piece that goes on the door frame that like the lock goes into. I go to put that on, but I can't just put this little metal piece against the door and have it close. That's not how locks work. The tongue of the lock needs to physically go into the door frame in order for it to lock. I need a hole in there. So, it's 11 p.m. I have to get up early to catch a bus. I have not packed. And I find myself staying up into the night with a hammer and a flat screwdriver because Tara's dad had taken the chisel home. And I hand carved out the divot for that metal piece so that it would be flush with the door and the hole into the door. I carved it. And finally, probably like a little bit past midnight. I got the door to close and I got it to lock. Here it is, my masterpiece. Look how the door can close and it can lock. And look how goddamn wonky that door frame is. Like, look at the difference in angle between the lines on the door and the line of the top of the door frame. Like, oh my god. I lost years off my life getting this together, but in the end, installing that door only cost me $20 instead of the hundreds that a professional would have charged. Damn straight, I am the patron saint of Home Depot. The ironic thing is that it's been 6 months of us living here and renovation still technically isn't done. I have a list here of the stuff we have done and the stuff we haven't done. Let me just read you this.
So we repainted the kitchen and hallway, moved the kitchen furniture, we installed corner around these gaping holes at the bottom of the wall in the hallway. We fixed the entryway into the bathroom and into the kitchen. We both finished our rooms, which meant installing the TARS door with a new lock as well. And in the bathroom we had to install new shelves, and we got a little bench built in the kitchen to make a little kitchen nook.
But here's what we haven't done is we still haven't done anything with the wood floor in the hallway. We haven't painted or varnished that. And in fact, there's still like paint flecks from where we had repainted all the walls and stuff. We bought paint to paint the cupboard doors in the kitchen, and we also still haven't done that yet. We have artwork we're supposed to hang up according to our lease with the landlord, and we still haven't done that. So there's still stuff to do technically. I think that's what adulthood means. There's just always stuff that you're doing to your house. But you know what? We turned a one-star motel that you would not want to sleep in into a home. And I'm proud of that. So I guess renovation hell was worth it. If you're also proud of me, you can give this video a thumbs up. Of course, in a house like this, there's always going to be more secrets to discover. So if you want to keep up with my life living in this place, then you can subscribe to me and you can click the little bell button to get notified every time I make a new video. Now, I've been sitting here so long, my ass is numb. And also there's like a storm happening outside. So I'm going to go just like fortify the entryways and whatnot with my Home Depot skills. And I'll see you guys next time. Okay. Bye! Zip! Yes! Why did I do that? Anyway. Don't fall in love.